start. So I am here with the badass butterfly herself, Pamela Gardner. Welcome, Pam.
Oh, thank you so much, Dustin. Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you. So let's start with just tell me a little bit about your background, where you come from.
You know what? I actually grew up in a very small town called Crescent, Pennsylvania. I had a mom that was really empowered. She was one of the only women that worked in our town, and she went on to get her master's degree. And she was really an inspiration for me. And I ended up spending time in college overseas, and I had an expat assignment over there.
Really?
And that got my desire to live overseas. And then I went into tech, and it happened by accidentally running into a recruiter at the
Hmm.
Pittsburgh airport. I was going to be in finance. I wanted to work on Wall Street. But instead, that serendipitous meeting led to me actually going and becoming a computer programmer, which was the hardest thing I did in my life. And it was a boot camp. And if you didn't pass, you didn't have a job. So
Wow.
I had to make it work. I learned COBOL and assembler.
Yep.
And then I went on to be a project manager. And there was an opportunity to apply for an expat assignment. And they said, well, you don't have banking experience. And I said, well, I don't care. I absolutely want to live overseas again. And I ended up with a 6.5 year expat assignment in the UK and also South Africa.
Wow. So you started off journeying the world and experiencing different cultures. What did you learn throughout that process and take from each of those different areas that you now use today?
You know what? It's really understanding people as a whole, regardless of the country that they're in. In the U.S., everything's so easy. We take things for granted. I really feel like everybody should spend some time overseas. And a lot of people have not gotten out of the country. But for me, I think that really helped to set me up to become an entrepreneur, be an empowerment coach for women as well, because I understand different cultures and backgrounds and what really makes people tick.
Yeah.
And which kind of led to once I moved back to San Diego, I learned about an opportunity which started my business, and that was to go into biotech.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a science background. A lot of people think I'm a neuroscientist or
Yeah.
whatever, but I didn't have a science background. And I did a kickoff session. I learned the language.
Mhm.
And believe it or not, I'm one of the most networked people out there now.
Oh, I believe it.
But, and thank you, but it didn't start like that.
Yeah.
I had to really learn how to use my muscles because
Yeah.
when I first went into those networking events, I didn't know the language, I didn't know
Mhm.
the people, and I would have a lot of anxiety. And so I was so nervous about it. And I was even nervous to give my first company presentation to encourage people to join BVS.
Yes.
And I had to get over that and
Yeah.
learn how to do presentations. But I learned, I'd meet Joe and Mary, and then the next time I knew them, and then I
Yep.
realized with people, most people stay in their own company group
Yeah.
and they don't venture out and network much. So I was like, okay, if I can learn how to work the room and just say hello to each of the tables, um, I would get to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I started my business BVS in 2003.
Yeah.
And
That's
now
so
we've done over
cool.
2,000 events.
Yes, yeah, which is great, and that's amazing. So how you're kind of collecting people, really, and that's what networking is all about, building those relationships. But it's more than that, right? So people can go out, you can introduce yourself, but you have to be memorable. You have to make an impact.
Yes.
So how do people find their personalities? How do they stand out among a sea of networkers?
You know what? And it's interesting because actually I'm doing a TED talk that's called
Okay.
Dress Bold, Be Bold. And for half of my life, I did everything to conform.
Yeah.
I got the Jordache jeans, I wore the same sneakers, um, Catholic school uniform. When I went out into corporate, always the black and blue suits. But I realized I was making myself invisible. I wasn't fully using my voice. I wasn't being as confident as I can. And then there was a moment where somebody encouraged me to start wearing some bright clothes.
Yeah.
And freaked me out. I was like, I can't wear it. And, this
Yeah.
is, my unique dress that I have on today.
Yeah.
But it makes you stand out from the crowd. And it's not just about what you dress, it's how you treat people,
Yeah.
it's the empathy that you have, and it's really allowing yourself to be visible.
Yeah.
And somebody had asked me, why do you want to empower women so much? And, my heart sank. I was like, because I wasn't always visible.
Yeah.
I always spent so much time conforming to fit in. And now I'm like the badass butterfly. I'm
That's
just
right.
being me. And it's so much easier. And
Yeah.
people are much more comfortable because
Mhm.
um, you're just being you.
Yeah.
And
They
that's what
can
I encourage people to do.
exactly, and they can sense that authenticity. Whereas if you're dressing to conform and trying to fit into a mold, you're not being yourself. It's not authentic, and they can sense that on you. So I think that's probably one of the keys is just authenticity. So being bold, and it's really about your personality as well as how you present yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I call it your authentic flair and stepping into visible
Yeah.
leadership. And whatever your flair is, not everybody's the same. It isn't bold colors and everybody wants to wear prints, but whatever you are,
Hmm.
because you don't want to just blend in
Yeah.
and allow your personality to really show,
Yeah.
and that will advance you.
Yeah, that's really great advice. So take me back to young Pam before you were the badass butterfly, before you even started conforming. You said I think you wanted to get into finance or banking. What were your young hopes and dreams?
You know what? Actually, I wanted to become a doctor.
Ah,
Um,
okay. So there
and
was a sense of biology or biotech
Yeah, yeah,
before.
there was, but I didn't like the lab work,
Mm-hmm.
and um, initially I was a little bit of a fish out of water.
Mm-hmm.
I had gone to a branch campus of Penn State. It was
Mm-hmm.
a really big campus, and I joined a sorority, and I wasn't getting the grades I wanted, and so I freaked out for a little bit, and I actually took a semester off
Really?
to regroup,
Wow.
and I decided to go back into business.
Hmm. That was bold. That was a bold decision. So you were. This isn't a new thing. I think the being bold was always in you. You just
Yes.
had to realize it and let it come out. So what changed? And maybe tell me a little bit more about. You said there was a person that influenced you. Tell me more about that experience, that time.
Um, yeah, and well, you know what's so interesting because you're talking about being bold. So actually, as a child in the 5th grade, I was bullied.
Mm,
And I went to my mom as a 5th grader and I negotiated. I says, "Mom, I can't stay at that public school
mm-hmm.
anymore. I need to go to the Catholic school." I wasn't Catholic.
Yeah.
They didn't necessarily have the money to send me there, but I was like, I can't stay there anymore.
Yeah.
And so I actually went to a completely different school and, joined things. But
Yeah.
as I said, I got the same jeans, I got the same
Yeah.
shoes, but yet there was something about me that didn't fully fit in. And
Yeah.
often I was the target of the bullying,
Even at the new school.
even at the new school.
Yeah.
And it happened in college as well
Mm-hmm.
with the sorority that I joined. And now I have this amazing relationship with women and I
Yeah.
empower women, but it wasn't always like that. I seem to be the one that didn't fit in. And I think I was trying to fit in. I didn't have my confidence. I didn't show my light. I didn't stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And and then once I did,
It
like
all went away,
I
right?
only like I have the best clients, I have the
Yeah.
best vendors that I work with, and I don't have these toxic situations anymore.
Yeah.
And what happened is I had to change who I
Yeah.
was. So I
Exactly.
didn't
Yeah.
attract those people and I didn't put up with the bad behaviors.
Yeah, I love it. Now you're the badass butterfly.
Yeah,
And I bet
yeah.
nobody bullies the badass butterfly.
No, nobody does. But and you know what? I'm really nice and good with people and I'm
Yeah.
genuine
Hmm.
and people appreciate that.
Yeah. And I really like what you said about it was easy. It's easier to be yourself than to try to put on this show and conform.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think a lot of people are missing. They think it's harder because it's scary, right? But you have to be bold. You have to trust in yourself and trust in the people around you to that they'll like you for who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So tell me a little more about BVS. I'm familiar with it. I've been to many of your events, but maybe some of the viewers would like to know more about that.
Yeah. So BVS We're considered connectors. We connect scientists into the labs to the most innovative products and services out there. Your consumables, your services, the equipment. And we help to make those connections. People find job
Hmm.
opportunities, they find collaborations, and they find things for their labs. And our events are always really fun,
Oh yeah.
but they're also innovative. And people are finding products and services that they didn't know that exist that help resolve research problems for them.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so it was great. And then, I wanted to also talk about another path that I took. So what I realized is in trying to conform and always fit in, I was always going after the validation. I was always
Hmm.
going after the next thing and the next thing and pushing and proving, which a lot of people do
Yeah.
in corporate. And then there was a point where I was so stressed out. I just wanted to go on my vacation. I had
Hmm.
gone to aerial yoga that day and I closed my eyes to meditate and I literally dropped like the silk wraps
Yeah.
and fell 4 feet onto my head,
Yeah.
and I got a serious
Oh
concussion,
no.
and it was literally my big wake-up call,
Wow.
and I couldn't get on the computer, I was really tired. All of a sudden, I had all this brain fog, and my brain power that was always allowing me to get ahead,
Yeah.
I had to really ask for help, and I
Yeah.
had to have people help me type on the computer
Wow.
and get my initiatives out. But that was when I actually launched the um, Women Breaking the Barriers of Science in 3 different locations because I had such passion about the initiative that people really jumped in to help
Yeah.
get sponsors and speakers. And it was about, the sexual harassment that was happening in the labs.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, I was doing workshops. And then during COVID, I created my Art of Women Thriving in STEM program to really help women deal with any shame based meanings, they're not enough, or working with others
Hmm.
to collaborate and setting boundaries, etc. Because you can have, all of the degrees, but yet you experience this imposter syndrome
Yes.
and you get to a certain level. And I've worked with thousands of women to really break through those barriers.
That's great. So this other initiative is it a coaching business?
Yeah, it's in coaching. I call it transformational empowerment.
Yeah. I like that better than
And
coaching.
yeah, because honestly, it is far beyond empowering. Like, I've literally seen people's lives transform, and
That's
really what needs to happen is they have to stop telling their old story. They have to stop living in the past because this and that happened. I can't do that. So I help them set up what their dream vision is,
mhm.
and then we really work through all of those limiting beliefs. And also, we have to get to the root of the burnout because most
Yeah.
people are overworking, and if they don't get to why they're pushing and proving so hard, um, actually, when you see your body starts to relax, you can actually accomplish so much more.
Yeah, I agree.
And my motto is it's so fun and easy to get clients. It's so fun and easy to make money because when I believed it, it actually started to happen,
Mm,
and I didn't have all that pressure. So I'm doing the same events, but I'm doing it in a much different way. I'm
interesting.
enjoying it. I'm
Yeah.
having fun.
Less stress and
Yeah,
more just being in the
yeah,
moment, being mindful. It's
exactly.
it's all mindset,
It
right?
is, it is, and, everybody thinks it's like, "Okay, get the degree at Harvard or MIT, and then I'm all set," but it's literally 80% mindset because if you don't have the right mindset, and the same with myself, my business wasn't getting to the financial level that I wanted because I had a lot of these limiting beliefs about I have to work really hard to get ahead. And I couldn't, like, do more events. I had to find a different way to do it so I could make more money, but be more relaxed and actually enjoy it.
If you were to go back and speak to your younger self, what would you tell young Pam?
I would tell her, "Do it despite the fear,
Yeah.
and things always work out.
Yeah.
Worrying never helps."
Yeah. Absolutely.
And by saying things always work out for me, that doesn't mean you're not going to experiencing the ups and downs of life, but we always have that resilience. We always have that power within us to get through anything.
Yeah.
And we can't let it allow us to be a victim. We have to say, what was the wisdom?
Right.
What did I learn? Because I had tons of setbacks, tons of different things that happened in my life, but you always have to get back up and be resilient from it.
Was there ever a time in your journey with BVS or coaching or even before that where you just wanted to throw the towel in? You're like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. During COVID was
Oh, really?
super, super
Really?
hard
Yeah.
because my business went down,
Yeah.
at least the event side, by 85%.
Wow, really?
And,
85%.
and I, my cat died. I
Oh,
broke up
no.
with my relationship.
Oh, man.
The business crashed, went through menopause. So like everything hit at once.
All at once.
And that was when I had to do the deeper work because all of a sudden my identity was gone. I didn't have anywhere to go. I couldn't hide behind, you know, like my job and my company,
Yeah.
etc. But I just surrendered and released
Mm,
that I knew I was coming back,
right.
and I knew I wasn't sure. I didn't have the answers, and so many people went through that with COVID. But after COVID, my business came back bigger and better than ever, and I had so much appreciation for the business. It actually brought new life into it. By actually feeling like I lost it, I came back and it made it fun, and
Yeah.
brought the community back together.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of like that saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone.
yeah,
And that literally happened. You lost nearly everything except yourself. And in that, you found yourself. I
exactly,
think it's pretty cool.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Very good. What's been your proudest moment? And don't let me lead you, but I would say probably in the coaching. What's been your proudest moment in seeing other people grow?
You know what? My proudest moment has been, like I said, seeing people get out of their old story and thinking they couldn't get to the VP level. And then after they resolved their internal beliefs, within a 3-month period, they actually got the VP position.
Yeah.
Another woman had so much anxiety when she came into my course because she had been let go
Mm,
from her job. She literally had hives, and she said, "Pam, I spent years and years in therapy, and within a couple weeks, you had me in such a better place. My hives
yeah.
disappeared." I had some
Wow.
other another woman in my course who had had a transplant, and she just couldn't ask for help, and she wasn't sure what was going to happen with her career, and she has so much life in her again, and that just warms my heart so much
Yeah.
when the lives are, and it's not just their careers. It's like they're changing their lives with their husbands, they're
Yeah.
having better relationships with their kids,
Yeah.
their friends, because now they're able to be more present because they've worked on themselves,
Yeah.
and they start attracting things differently. When you change you, if I'm having a problem with you and I change, our relationship can change.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
It just takes one.
So we don't need therapy. We just need Pam.
No, absolutely. Believe me,
Yeah.
I spent years in therapy, and I
Yeah.
actually fired my therapist,
Nice.
and I said, I'm going down the self-development
Yeah.
and spiritual
Here
route.
we are.
Because I'm like, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm sitting on the couch just like
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, and we're not getting anywhere. And that's what people said.
Yeah.
This is so far beyond therapy.
Yeah.
And it's not just life coaching, it's not whatever. We are literally getting to the root
Yeah.
of what's functioning inside of you.
Yeah.
And as I said, my string was I did everything to conform, which led
Mhm.
to very successful career, but I was pushing and proving to the point of burnout.
Yeah.
And once I could resolve that I don't have to push and prove and I can be myself, everything came together. The
Yeah.
relationships, the career, and and the abundance.
Yeah. So I mean, to go with the butterfly analogy, you were in a cocoon
I
and you
was in a
finally
cocoon.
you emerged
I
as the badass
emerged.
butterfly, exactly who you always were,
Yeah.
but you completely transformed.
Absolutely.
And
And that's what I love is everybody has that ability to
yeah.
transform.
Yeah.
If I can fly, so can you. That's
Yeah.
what my saying is.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
If I can fly, so can you. And just along those lines, what I really liked about that question, I said, what's your proudest moment? And as a highly successful female entrepreneur, you could have came and said, when I hit $1 million in sales, or when I did this, when I did that, but that wasn't your answer. Your answer was, when I see the people that I'm helping succeed and transform and be successful in their families. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Pam, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much,
Yeah.
Dustin.